In a world where students struggle with math. I think one time when I really struggled with math was, say, grade 10 data management, specifically kind of linear relations and plotting on a graph and then spotting trends. I just felt very bored by it. The teacher just had this big graphing calculator and was punching the numbers and show up on the smartboard, and I just didn't connect with it. I didn't know why I needed to know it. It was kind of taught very blandly, like there wasn't any energy to it. So I didn't care about it. I ended up not doing the work, and it all kind of spiraled from there as I was falling behind. I think I could have learned to do it more effectively if it had been presented in a way that was more interesting, either in a way that I connected to it, like for example, sports. Like I can do follow data trends fine in sports now, and that's very similar to data management from what I would have learned in high school. But because it's a topic that I'm interested in, or presented in a way that's interesting to me, I find it much easier to do than I would have done just straight from the textbook. So I think what I learned about this experience for teaching math was that you can't just teach the formulas, you need to present the formulas in a way that the students can connect to. One man fought back against the struggle. I think that one math concept that I struggled with initially, but then succeeded was grade 9 rates of change. So, coming from grade 8 in elementary to high school, there was a big leap. There was a gap of a semester where I had no math since I did math in the winter semester for grade 9. And it's similar to what my problem was with the grade 10 math. The grade 9 rates of change were just kind of put on the board as a graph, and it was just like, okay, like, what do I do with this? And then eventually I got the hang of it because it got put in terms I could relate to, so like dollars or time, just things that I could use tangibly. And I think that was kind of a big thing for me to see where I could apply the math. So I guess what that taught me about teaching math is, once again, that you need to put it in terms that kids understand, but more importantly, that they feel they can use. And dared to math. A big turning point for me in terms of my perspective on math, just within the last couple years, I would say was kind of the advance of sports analytics and the use of math in sports. So that kind of just put me in a situation where things that I was very interested in were using math, and so I was able to use math to further my understanding of sports. So basketball, football, hockey, all these things that I was interested in, and I found myself getting very engaged in topics that when I was in school I was like bored to tears by. So I think that really furthered my understanding of how to teach math by really cementing the idea that you need to make it interesting for kids by putting it in context that they can relate to and then that they appreciate. Yes, of course. 2 plus 2 makes 5? That can't be right. 4, of course. A man who became a math guru. I think the strategies and conditions that need to be in place for me to learn math effectively are that the math needs to be applicable to me, and it needs to be something that I enjoy. So it needs to be related to a subject that I'm interested in. I think reviewing my math history has really cemented my belief that as a math teacher, I need to make it engaging for my students so that they can connect with the material, either again through something they're interested in or something they can use, something that's practical for them. I think that belief has impacted how I viewed Peter Sims' article. By Sims talked about how the fear of failure can stem creativity, and I feel like in math class especially, where a lot of people aren't very confident, they're worried about messing up, and then that impacts their learning. They're not expressing themselves, they're not getting creative, they're not seeing what math can do for them. So I think that is the main takeaway, that you can't have a fear of failure when you're trying something out, because what you end up doing is hindering your ability to learn it.